Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises, glory, and honor goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikah Kadash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now we're going to get into the great big lie about the Gentiles by the natural Gentiles who's trying to steal the identity of the Israelites. See, while they working on stealing the identity, their main goal is to lie about these Gentiles and keep everybody in confusion about the Gentile while they stealing the identity. Okay, in 1881, once the Bible became legal to read and slavery was over, Reconstruction was coming to its end, then they start to say we need to revise, meaning we need to add some lies into the New Testament. We need to hide the real deal of the New Testament. We need to go into that New Testament and make sure these people don't know what it's talking about. That's what the revising was all about. We need to revise and tell lies, see, about these Gentiles that Apostle Paul was looking for. See, when he was traveling all over the Roman Empire, which used to be the Grecian Empire, or the Empire of the Greeks. That's why they call it the Greco-Roman Empire. See, because it was first the Greeks, then it became the Romans. And they were the same individuals calling themselves different names because they wanted to hide themselves, the Edomites. That's Jeremiah 49 and 10, along with Apostle Paul's words in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, verse 3, about the man of sin, the son of perdition, having to be revealed because he's trying to hide himself. See, and these Edomites got together and they revised the New Testament. And their goal was to present this Gentile situation to the world as being all nations, when the Gentiles in that New Testament was not talking about no all nation. Now let's go straight to the main point that Apostle Paul was what he was doing, because the apostles talked about the situation. Salakia. Okay, they addressed the situation and addressed what he was doing. So let's go into Acts. Let's go into the book of Acts. Is it Acts? Let me slow down. Yeah, it's Acts. Book of Acts, chapter 21. To get the context at 18, it said, "In the day following, Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders was present." So all the elders and these Apostle James, Apostle Paul, it was all present. Verse 9, it says, "And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly the things God had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry." Why they keep saying among the Gentiles? You see, because that's the key word. But you know, they revised it to be some broad operation that's hard to understand. Verse 20, it says, "And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are zealous of the law." Okay? "And they are informed of thee," meaning Paul, "that you teachest all the Jews." See, he wasn't going around teaching no no natural heathens. He wasn't teaching no Gentiles, man. It said he teaches all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses. That's why in verse 19 it says what God was doing among the Gentiles. See, he wasn't teaching these freaking heathens, man. These non-Israelites. They was not being taught. Paul was going to the Israelites that was living among these heathens in Corinth, in Galatia, in Ephesians, wherever, Ephesia, whatever they called Ephesus. See, he was teaching the Israelites who was under the Greek captivity, and they was forced to be a heathen because it was outlawed to be an Israelite. See, and this is what they trying to hide from the Greek scriptures. That's why in 1881 they took out the Apocrypha. They said, let's take the Apocrypha out because they revived the Apocrypha in I think 1879 or something like that. So once they revised it, they took it out of the book altogether and said, let's just put the so-called Malachi, Genesis to Malachi, and Matthew to Revelation. See, this is what the people did. But when you go into the second Maccabees, it tells you what was going on. Second Maccabees, starting at verse 6. First verse, it says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers. Okay, so the king was telling these Israelites, y'all don't need to be proclaiming you an Israelite and this is what your forefathers is and all this crap, and not to live after the laws of God. Verse 6, it says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Forget you are Israelite. You is just like us Gentiles. God loves everybody and deals with everybody, and we gonna worship all the gods. We don't care nothing about no one God. Verse 9, it says, and whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. So it was a death penalty on anybody want to call themselves an Israelite and not a Greek. See, it's like now, if you talking about you an Israelite and you ain't proclaiming that you a black American or a brown American, see, or a Native American, see, you ain't proclaiming them. They trying to say you a hater and you a part of some secret organization that hate everybody and want to pretty much be devil worshippers. They try to demonize you, man, because they don't want the truth to come out about what's going on. Then you go to First Maccabees, the same situation. First Maccabees, when the Greeks took over, it tells you what happened. First Maccabees, chapter 1. Let's see, starting at verse 41, it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. See? It says, and everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. See, the Israelites bought into that mess. Why? Because verse 50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Now, these people were saying in the Jehovah wickedness, the Christians couldn't read the Bible back in the Grecian time. They would put you to death. Say, no. It wasn't just no Christian, man. It was the Israelites couldn't read the Bible. They would put you behind the death, and they would say, you can't call yourself no Israelite. That's what they was trying to hide. That's why they was putting them to death. It wasn't because they was sitting around reading the book. It was because you trying to say you're an Israelite and God dealing with you only. Because this is what the book is preaching. That God is only dealing with the Israelite. And everybody in the world gonna know. In Ezekiel, about 50 some time, he telling the Israelites, that or the world, you shall know that my name is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and you gonna understand that I'm in the midst of Israel, man. The heathen gonna know. Let's go ahead and get that, because this is what he's saying all through this. You should know in that day. What is it? I know Ezekiel 39 maybe. He says verse 23, he said, and the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore I hid my face from them and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. Verse 27, and when I brought them again from the people and gathered them out of the enemy's land and I am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations, then shall they know that I am the Lord their God. See? Which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. This is the key word that need to be brought out of the New Testament. When you see that among, this is what it's talking about. They went into captivity among the heathen, and Paul had to go teach these people. It wasn't he was going in the midst of some heathens and finna teach the heathen. No, he was getting the people that was in captivity. It says, but I have gathered them unto their own land and have left none of them anymore there. This is what Apostle Paul was doing. When you go into Hebrews, which a lot of people dedicate that to Paul, look at what he said in verse 25. It says, grace be with you all. Amen. Written to the Hebrews from Italy by Timothy. Written to the Hebrews, not to no freaking Gentiles, man. Then you go into Apostle James. It says, James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. The scattering amongst the Gentiles to go into captivity under them. This is what the whole situation was about. When you go into the history of Peter, they tell you that Peter did not write to no freaking heathens, man. Peter was writing to the Israelites. Why was Apostle Peter writing to the Israelites? Go into the history and the writings of these theologians and people that was putting commentary to the book of Peter, and you're going to see that Peter was being talked about, that he was writing to the freaking Israelites. He says, but ye are a chosen generation, meaning a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. Look at what it said in verse 12. It says, having your conversation honest among the Gentiles. See, it's always talking about among the Gentiles. Why is he talking about a Gentile? If the Lord is dealing with everybody and just the believers, why is he telling them to have their conversation to be true among the Gentiles? And because the Gentiles is speaking against us as evildoers. See, they trying to say that we evildoers because we don't want to accept them, and because the Lord didn't accept them and then leave no promises for them. They already filthy rich, running around here with their own land, governments, and money on a face on the money. So the Lord already gave them their blessing. That's what the Abraham situation was about. They got a blessing now, and they're going to get a blessing when they're under our rulership in a righteous kingdom. So these people just don't know what they're talking about, man. And this thing is all about the Israelites, and those Gentiles was Israelites. Let's get another one. I think in Psalms 106, got one I like to go to a lot. Psalms 106. Here it is, 106 and 35. It says, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their ways. These are the people that Apostle Paul was going to find, the Israelites that was scattered among the Israelite, the heathens, and learning their ways. That's why he had to go tell them. And look at, here go Apostle Paul talking about it. 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. Say, ye know that ye were Gentiles. See, you was among these people, carried away on a slave ship unto these dumb idols. How are you carried away? And even as you were led, how was you led away and carried away? On a freaking slave ship, man. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And these people trying to hide the facts. It said, and the Lord shall bring you into Egypt again with ships. See, he gonna be led away on a slave ship. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you. See, you gonna be on the auction block being sold to your enemy for a slave man and a slave woman, and nobody's gonna buy you, man. Nobody gonna save you from that captivity but the Lord. And this is what Apostle Paul was doing. This is what Apostle Peter, and James, they was all writing to the Israelites that was scattered abroad, and writing to the Israelites that was among the Gentiles. Not no natural Gentile. They got together in 1881 and told a great big lie. Great big fat lie. Because they want to steal the inheritance of the Israelites. But I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kakadash, the ones to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves, scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.